Buying a house is probably one of the most expensive and important decisions that you'll ever make in this life. So, when you are ready to purchase a property, you need to ensure that you are informed to make a good decision that you won't regret in the long run. That is why when buying properties, it's important to look out for red flags. Remember, the person selling the property might not be 100% honest with you, so you need to know what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you're looking out for. That is why in this video, I'll share with you 6 red flags to look out for when purchasing a property. If it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. I am Kayla.K.Keane. If you are returning, tell the others that you already know the drill, which is to like the video, subscribe if you have not already done so, and leave a comment about the topic or any other thing that you want to talk about. Additionally, remember to follow me on all socials. That's at Kayla.K.Keane on Instagram and Twitter also, as well as at Keane Kayla on Facebook. Welcome back, future millionaires, and thank you so much for staying. I'm delighted to have you. Remember to hit the red subscribe button over here and also to hit the bell so that whenever I post, you'll get a notification right on your phone or your smart device so that you will not miss an important upload. So let's talk about the red flags now, having to do with purchasing a property. I want you to remember, firstly, even a newly constructed building can have issues, whether engineering issues, electrical issues, it can happen. So I want you to be smart. That's why I'm going to tell you 6 possible red flags that you definitely need to look out for before you purchase a property. And the first one that I want to look at is high crime rate. Imagine now you take up $20 million to buy a property, only to not be able to sleep in peace at nights. We don't want that for ourselves. So what I want you to look at before you consider purchasing a property in a community is the crime rate. An easy way to do that is to look at your news, whether your newspaper, watch it on the television, go on YouTube, Google the community. For example, if you're going to buy a house in, say, Vineyard Town, just Google Vineyard Town and click the news tab and look at all of the news articles that were done on Vineyard Town to see if there's a high level of crime. Another simple way is to go into the community and actually have a conversation with persons on the street, persons who live there for years and are aware of it. If you have a friend that is from one of those communities, have a conversation. Do not be afraid, because at the end of the day, you do not want to invest your hard-earned money into a community that is crime-riddled and that no one wants to rebuy the house if you want to resell. I know that most of you are thinking that, oh, I'm not planning to resell my house. I want to buy a house for the purpose of living there, maybe pass it on to my children, and it can be a generational house that we pass on. However, resale is very important. Whether or not you plan to resell the house before purchasing, that's one of the first thing that you need to think about. So, number 1 is check the crime rate. The second thing that I want you to look out for when purchasing a property is mass exodus from that community. So if you're going on Google, you're searching for properties, or you have a realtor and they are sending you properties and you notice that all the properties are in one community, you need to find out why this is so. Sometimes when there are issues in communities, it could be crime and violence, it could be water lock-offs, it could be an electrical problem with utility. For example, they do not have internet, good internet or reliable internet in that community. Persons will tend to move out because they cannot deal with that issue. Before you purchase a house in a community where there's mass exodus, you need to find out the reason why people are moving. So if you even go to view the property, you can say to the person who is selling, what is your reason for wanting to sell the house? In fact, that's a question you should always ask somebody who is selling a house. So that is number 2. Check if there's mass exodus and why. The third red flag for you to look out for when purchasing a property is structural issues with the property. Now, I know that most of you who are watching are not structural engineers. So with the naked eye, you might not be able to make a good assessment of if the property has structural problems. And eventually, if you're buying the house, you will do a structural engineer report. However, you can prevent yourself from having to pay a lot of money to get this report done if you pay attention to small details. For example, when persons are purchasing a property, many of them go to the inside of the house, they look at the bedrooms, look at the size of the bedroom, look at the aesthetic appeal that it has. But remember, a house that is aesthetically pleasing can still have structural problems. So what I want you to do is to go onto the outside of the house and walk around the perimeter of the house, check for cracks and so on. Additionally, you can look up towards the ceiling to look if there are cracks in the wall close to where the roof meets the wall. So those are things that you can look out for when purchasing a property. Don't be fooled by, the fresh paint, the smell of fresh paint. And some persons will go as far as to bake a banana pudding when they're having viewing, so that you are led astray by the beautiful smell in the house. But do not be fooled. Pay attention to the finer details. The fourth thing that I want you to look out for when purchasing a house is plumbing issues. Remember, plumbing issues can be a major nightmare. And not only that, it's so expensive sometimes. But you are thinking to yourself, how do I, with my limited skills, know if a house has plumbing issues? And that's why I said before, when we go into a house to check that we want to purchase, we do not want to just think about aesthetics alone. So what I want you to do is to find some faucets in the house, go into the bathroom, turn the pipe on, check the water pressure. Is the water pressure extremely low? Additionally, as it relates to the toilet, you can use your big toe and press against the tile that is close to the toilet and check if there's any sinking or any movement going on there, or if the floor in that area is soaked. Additionally, just bend down, look close behind the toilet, look to see if the walls are water soaked. Look in the shower, look at the tiles in the shower to see if any of them are falling off. Those can be signs of water leakage. Additionally, on the outside of the house, you can look at the pipes, look where the pipes are going, check to see if you can see any visible leaking. So that's the fourth red flag to look out for when purchasing a property. Apart from just the physical leaking of pipes and so on, I want you to also check the person's water bill to see if they are owing large amounts of money, and that could also be a sign of not just non-payment but leakage, because remember that if you have leakage, obviously it's going to reflect on your water bill. Fifth red flag that I want you to look out for when purchasing a property is potential drainage problems. Now, this is another technical one, so let me just give you an example of things that you will want to look out for. So if there's a slope towards the front, side, or the rear of the property, then you know that if it rains, more than likely the water is going to settle towards your house. So if there's a lot of slope around the house, that's something you want to talk about. Additionally, Obviously, if there is a problem with drainage and the property has flooded before, there could possibly be water lines on the walls on the outside of the house. And that is why, as I said before, it's important for you not just to look inside, but to look on the outside of the house. Look close to the ground if you see water marks or so on. Remember, drainage issues can also be a sign of sewage issues, and this is a very, very serious issue. So that's something you also want to look out for. And that brings me to my sixth and final red flag that you need to look out for when you are purchasing a property. And that is potential electrical issues. So an electrical issue is a bit more technical to spot, but some simple ways in which you can check if the house has electrical problems is by looking at the way that the house is wired. Additionally, if you turn off all the lights and all the appliances in the house and the breaker is still showing movements, then you definitely know that something is wrong electrically. Additionally, you can also look at the intensity of the lights coming through the light bulbs and flicker switches, as well as check outlets to see if there's any sign of burning or so on. This is an issue that you'll need somebody who is a professional to double check for you if you do decide on purchasing the property, but these are just some simple ways in which you can check for yourselves. So those are my 6 red flags to look out for when you are purchasing a property. I know that there are many other things to look out for, so tell me down in the comment section. Before you go, future millionaires, I need you to do something for me. Hit the thumbs up icon, share the video with a friend, comment and talk to me down in the comment section, and most importantly, if you have not hit the red subscribe button over here, you need to hit it and turn on the bell so that you don't miss another video. Until next time, future millionaires, tell me other videos that you want to hear about and share all your little secrets and red flags that we should definitely look out for when purchasing a property. And remember, most importantly, future millionaires,